Good morning, students. Let us talk about the characteristics of monsoon season. Okay. Before coming to the characteristics or main features of the monsoon, let me tell you or recall the whatever topics we had already completed in this chapter. We completed the factors that affected the climate of an area. Under this topic, we had talked about latitude, altitude, distance from the sea, pressure and wind system, relief features, and all these factors, how it affects the climate of any region or area. Now, the next topic is about characteristics of monsoon. First one is it is characterized by strong and violent winds. Strong and violent winds. See, when we see that the arrival of monsoon starts, it is started with the strong and violent winds. Sometimes we see the lightning also, or somewhere it is similar to a storm. That is actually known as, this means what you can say, the arrival of the monsoon is marked by the strong and violent winds with lightning and thunder, which we call as burst. It is known as burst. And then come to the break. What is break? During the monsoon, we see the break, the period of a dry spell. Means after the rainy days, few days of rain, there is a dry spell. There is a dry spell in which we did not see the rain or we did not receive any rain. That time period is actually known as break. Second, it accounts 90% of rainfall for the entire nation. Our country India is receiving 90% of rainfall through this monsoon season. Hardly 10% of Indian areas or the regions were left without rain during the monsoon season. Another feature of the monsoon is that it neither continuous nor regular, or in other words, the rain is not certain. Means there is no prediction. We can't make any prediction related to the rain. It is continuous also, or it could not be discontinuous. It could be regular or it could be irregular. So this is actually the nature of a monsoon of our country. Another thing is the next point is uneven distribution of rainfall. Under this uneven distribution of rainfall means in our country some regions receives the highest rainfall, and in the same way in our country some regions are left without rain. It means they did not receive any rain. So unequal. One part of the country is facing the havoc of the flood, cyclones, and one part of our country is facing the dry spell, means without any rain, or they were facing the problem of drought. Next, heavy rain in the Himalayan region, and when it is heavy rain in the Himalayan region and it is a dry spell in the plains. See, the arrival of the monsoon starts by the beginning of the June. By the first week of June, the monsoon starts in India. And it starts from the state of Kerala and Karnataka. Now see this one. This one state, the Kerala, and here we have Karnataka. From this southwest we receives the first rainfall. First it enters here in Kerala, then it moves toward the Karnataka, and later on it moves to Mumbai or the Maharashtra region. One branch of the monsoon bearing winds start blowing toward this Indian Ocean, blowing over the Bay of Bengal and reach toward the eastern part of our country. So by the beginning of the July, this area also receives the rainfall. So when there is heavy rain in in this Himalayan region, this plain area remains dry, and sometimes we see through news also when there is a heavy rain in the coastal region. When there is heavy rain in the coastal region, in plains or in the northern plains, we have dry spells. Here we don't have any rain. We are facing the problem of drought, whereas that area is facing the problem of flood or any other sort of havoc. Now, thing is that why some region receives the heavy rainfall and why some region did not receive rainfall. Means they did not receive the single drop of rain. Reason behind the story of low pressure area and the story of high pressure area. In the previous video, we had already talked about key. See, here we have Arabian Sea and here we have Bay of Bengal. So, because of moderating effect of these water bodies from both the sides, and here we have Indian Ocean. So, this coastal area, the land of this coastal area turns into low pressure area. So, winds from this area start reaching toward here, and later on it moves in this direction and reaches to our northern trough or northern plain, which developed in low pressure area. The winds from high pressure area start moving toward the low pressure area. Then when it reaches to a higher altitude, we had already talked in upper air circulation, then what happened? They are deflected either in this direction or in this direction and start moving toward the area where they find a vacuum. When these warm winds cool down, they cannot hold the moisture for a longer time, then the precipitation or the rainfall starts. That is why whenever any region or any area is developed into a low pressure area, then we have rainfall, and if the area is developed into a high pressure area, we will not receive any air. Now, one more thing is left, that is what is actually the effect or the result of this uneven rainfall. We have two types of results because of this monsoon. First of all, many parts of our country face the flood or the flood-like situation arises in many parts, whereas some part of our country remain dry and facing drought. Means सूखा पड़ जाता है. So what is the result of this flood and this dryness or drought? The food prices. The food grain prices hiked up. It reaches from here, it reaches to the extreme. The food prices, if hiked up, it affects the life of the people. That's all in this video, and in the next video we will talk about the mechanism of monsoon. Stay at home, have a blessed day. Hello, good morning students. Let us start with the Indian monsoon. Yesterday we talked about the characteristics or the main features of monsoon. Now we will talk about the Indian monsoon. With reference to Indian monsoon, first of all, these Arab traders were able to identify and observe these winds. See, in the beginning of the chapter, I told you that India's climate is actually the monsoonal type of climate. The reason behind this is that why it was known as the monsoonal type of climate. Now, I am going to tell you about that. This one is the first main thing about related to the Indian monsoon. See, from Arabian country, from here the Arabian countries are there, they left their ships over here. They left their ships over there, and what did they observe? Okay, during the month of June, the winds blow from this direction toward this direction. That is why they left their boats here, and with the force of these winds, these boats are able to reach over this one. So what did they thought in the month of June, when this June month came, we shift our boats toward here, then it can easily reach to the Indian coastal region. It could easily reach to the Indian coastal region. Clear? And here they start the trade all over India and complete their trade within 3 or 4 months. They complete their trade within 3 or 4 months, and then what did they see? These winds, they start entering in this country in this direction. What is this direction? This one is east, west, north and south. So these winds are going from south-west. So winds enter in this country through south-west. And when they complete the time period of 3 or 4 months, then these winds come back like this. When these winds come back like this, and they are coming from southeast, they are coming from northeast. So we have the monsoon from southwest and from northeast. So this reversal of the wind is actually observed by these traders, and they called these winds as the monsoon wind. That is why from that time onwards our climate is said as the monsoonal type of climate. Is that clear? Now second thing is that these traders called themselves as the monsoonal winds, and they control the monsoon season of this country. Clear? Second thing is that with this monsoon की हवाओं को आना और जाना, it is not done. It is actually a phenomena that take place in India. Certain climatic conditions appears on India, and because of that only during this particular season from June to September we have monsoon season. But this monsoon is actually affected by certain factors. Now we will discuss about these factors which affects the Indian monsoon under the sub-unit of mechanism of Indian monsoon. In your textbook it is written as mechanism of Indian monsoon. Now we will talk about the factors that affect the Indian monsoon. Some factors are there, one by one we will talk. First one is the differential heating of the land and sea. Now see, as we had seen in earlier video, from water to land the winds blow, and then second time is when they are coming back, we see from land to water. Clear? You know very well that land quickly heats up. जब भी कौन सी चीज गर्म हो जाती है? This land area, and sea needs water. Water takes a long time to warm up as well as it takes a long time to cool down. This differences in the heating up and cooling down of land and sea somewhere affects the monsoon of India. Somewhere affects the monsoon of India. See, we had already seen from here, this one is land part and here we have water bodies. The water, the winds that blows from here, they collect the moisture. They collect the moisture with them because they somewhere collect the moisture from here, and here we have the small hills. Here we have in the western coast we have some small hills, and when these winds touch these areas, then what happens? Then the land area receives the rainfall. That is why yesterday I told you the first rainfall was received by Kerala and Karnataka. In our country, the first rainfall is received by Kerala and Karnataka. Clear? And the same one, this one is land part and here it is water. When the season is over, when these river winds will come back to the water after shedding their moisture, after shedding the moisture in the entire country, they come back in this direction. And when the wind blows from land to water, they did not have any moisture in them. They did not have any moisture in them. That is why the winds that blow from land to water, they are actually dry winds. And the winds that blow from water to land, they have moisture in them. That is why during the winter season, हवाएं हमें कैसे लगती है बेटा? We experiences the dry winds, and in summer it is containing the lot of moisture in them. Clear? Now we will talk about the second point. Second point is shifting of ITCZ. Oh my God! Maybe you think that what is this new word? ITCZ. This ITCZ means Intertropical Converging Zone. See, you had already seen about the pressure and wind system. Once again I am showing you. This one is the surface area, and suppose this sun rays are falling over this area directly. This land is warmer. So air that blows or the wind that blows here quickly warm up. The warm air is क्या? Lighter than the cool air. So what happened? The air now start reaching toward a upper area. Okay? And to a certain point, when they come over here, then they are deflected. And when they are deflected, they again see from here, from surface of the land, the air goes up. Why air goes up? When the air goes up, it develops a kind of low pressure area. And after getting the deflection, it again come back to this point on the surface, because of high pressure. क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ से लैंड से सारी एयर कहाँ चली गई? ऊपर. तो यहाँ पे कैसा एरिया बन गया? लो प्रेशर. जब डिफ्लेक्ट होके हवाएं दूसरी तरफ आ रही हैं, तो क्या होगा? ये जो हाई प्रेशर एरिया सारी की सारी जो हवाएं हैं नीचे आ रही है, तो यहाँ पे कैसा एरिया डेवलप होगा? हाई प्रेशर एरिया। तो ये जो सर्कल है, ये जो सर्कुलेशन ऑफ हाई प्रेशर एंड लो प्रेशर एरिया is actually known as ITCZ, is actually known as ITCZ. तो क्या है कि बेटा it is actually the position of this ITCZ is changed from season to season. In summer season, if it is in the northern part of our country, but in winter it comes down. It is there because of revolution of the earth. It is because of revolution of the earth. Clear? So see, once again I tell you so that this confusion could be clear. This area during the summer season is developed into low pressure area, and the winds that blows from here enters in this because they are having moisture from here. From this high pressure area, they move toward the low pressure, and again in the same direction they come back. So here it is low pressure area is developed, and after that, when the winds from this area moves towards this direction, this area is empty. And what is this area? That is Madagascar. अफ्रीका कॉन्टिनेंट के नीचे एक आइलैंड है which we call as the Madagascar. ये हाई प्रेशर एरिया होता है, यहाँ से हवाएं लो प्रेशर एरिया जो कि इंडिया में है वहां की ओर जाती है. The movement of the air from Madagascar to India means from high pressure area to low pressure area. In another season, this area is developed into a low pressure and it is developed into a high pressure. Then again these winds are coming back to this area. So it means this trough means a kind of tub, vast area, tray. This actually shift from season to season, and because of this also our monsoon is affected. Indian monsoon is also affected by this shifting of the ITCZ. Is that clear? I hope.